All right, it's a memorial service. I guess, this one's best, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, it's not just any service, it's bills. What time is Jenny coming by?
Picking her up on the way, Scott.
Scott Baldwin's office. What? No. I lost my wallet. Which credit card? What? Suspicious activity. Well, how much? Wait a second. What phone number is that coming from? Hold on. No, it is not approved, and don't refuse any charges on that thing. What's your name? Okay, thank you. I appreciate the call. Goodbye.
Lucy.
He's holed up in Dominique's old New York apartment.
Scott, you could still catch the next commuter flight out there.
How's Bill's service here?
You'll be forgiven. Scott, look, if I got word on Dylan's whereabouts, I'd be gone in a hot minute. You can count on it.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you something. From the first day that I met Lucy, she's been leading me on some merry chase here. Now that I know where she is, she can just wait. I'm going to Bill's service.
Make sure it's the royal suite, though. The royal. No. I know all your suites are superior. I'm sure the new owners wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, look, I not only know the Quartermaines, I used to be a Quartermaine. Okay, please write this down with your little pencil. I'll be arriving in the Bahamas at 3:10. And I want a limo driver there to meet me, the biggest stretch you have, and tell him or her that I'll be the very pregnant lady coming off of first class. Great. Listen, I'm going to put it on a card. It's not really in my name. It's a corporate card. Deception, Inc. You got it? Oh, great. Okay, no problem. I'll look forward to seeing you. Ciao. Or bye. Oh, I love this. I just love this. Elsie, over there somewhere. Listen, there has been a slight, a slight change of plans. I'm leaving.
Oh, when, Miss Carroll?
Well, any minute now, any minute. Could you do me one teeny tiny, just a little favor before I go? Could you, box up all of this and have it shipped to my residence in Port Charles?
But aren't you meeting Mr. Baldwin here and surprising?
Oh, Mr. Baldwin will be surprised. I promise you that. He'll probably arrive here today, maybe tomorrow. Listen, Elsie, you have been so very kind and thoughtful and generous and all that. I think I want to, give you something, some little gift to remember me by. Oh, dear. I think that.
Oh, thank you. How very kind of you. What would that be?
Oh, that is a satellite dish. Oh, you're going to love it. You will just love it. You know, you can pick up TV stations from all over the world, even your homeland, England.
Okay.
Ah, just the woman I was looking for.
Well, that's funny, because I was about to have you paged. How would you like to take me to lunch later?
I'd love it. I'd like to go and see Rhonda. Will you come with me?
You want me to go with you to see Rhonda?
Yes. I think it'd be nice for her to see a friendly face. Monica, she's battered and bruised. She hardly poses a threat. I think a little bit of charity is in order here, don't you agree?
You're absolutely right. Just give me a minute, okay?
Take all the time you need.
I should be doing things for you, not the other way around. Though I guess it's good practice for your medical career.
Hey, let's just take one step at a time, okay?
Things are going to be different when I get out of here. I want to make a real home for you. I owe you that much.
Mom, the only thing you owe me is to get well and to start taking care of yourself.
Right. And you'll take care of yourself, and we'll wave to each other as we pass each other in the street.
No. We are going to do this together.
Is that what you said before?
Well, I want the same thing as you, okay? A fresh start. You know, a lot of people are telling me that I need, professional help, therapy, and, I'm not really quite sure where to begin. I was thinking maybe a free clinic or something, you know?
Well, if that's what you think you need, you should get the best.
Oh, well, I can't afford the best, but...
Maybe you can. Alan offered to help you with your education.
Yeah, I know. He offered to lend me money, but I didn't accept it.
But I did. He came to me. I think it was the day that you disappeared. I opened an account in your name. There's $10,000 in it. I didn't have a chance to tell you.
You took money from Dr. Quartermain.
Oh, he said it was a loan. He convinced me that it was for your own good, honey. Please don't be angry with me.
No, it's okay. It's okay, I'm not, okay? I just... Well, oh, maybe it is for my own good. I don't know.
Sure it is. Whatever you decide to do, I'm behind you.
I know.
Hi. Yes, how are you feeling, Rhonda?
A whole lot better. I must look kind of a mess, though. I wasn't expecting any company.
You look amazingly well under the circumstances.
Certainly does, and I like what I see here even better. This is excellent progress.
How you doing, Karen?
I'm okay. Dr. Quartermain, I just, my mom just told me about the money. And I just don't know what to say.
Listen, we both think that you need a break. I hope you're not going to refuse us again.
No. You both are so wonderful. I can't thank you enough.
Well, he is the one that you should thank.
But I have a problem. I'm kind of at a loss.
Well, why is that?
Well, I know the money's supposed to be for my education, and, but I'm kind of in need of a different kind of help right now. And I wanted to use it for therapy.
I think that's an excellent decision.
It's just so expensive, isn't it?
Well, what about your insurance?
My policy doesn't cover mental health.
Oh, how many times a week do I hear that?
I thought about a free clinic.
No, I really think you should have a one-on-one therapist, you know. I would highly recommend Gail Baldwin.
Listen, Karen, that money was to put you on the road to becoming a doctor. Now, the first step is getting yourself well. And if that means private therapy, you don't need my permission.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, come on in, Sean.
Morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Thought you'd want to know. Have some news about Ray.
Where's Angela?
I finally reached her last night. She's on a buying trip in Milan.
If there's anything we can do, please let us know. I'd be happy to help
Thanks.
you.
I'm really grateful that you're here. I wonder how many times I'm going to have to answer that question today.
You're doing fine.
I'm not.
Okay.
This is it, Paul. This was my family. I have to answer that question
You're
today.
doing fine.
I'm not. This is it, Paul. This was my family. Now you see him. Now you don't.
You know, last time I saw Bill, I had a big fight with him over Sly.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was on his case about how much time he didn't spend at the Outback. Told me to mind my own business.
Kind of Bill's theme song, wasn't it? Have you heard anything more about how it happened?
It's violent, but it's like that. Boom.
And I wonder if it's true that they actually tried to kill Luke.
You know, I always wanted to meet Luke face to face. I mean, he was probably the best friend my brother had. Just never thought his return to Port Charles would be like this.
Well, if you knew the guy, you'd feel a little differently every time he shows up. There's trouble.
Hey, look, when this is over with, we have some legal questions for you.
Yeah, like what?
Like what happens to the Outback now that one of the partners is dead?
Well, the shares will probably go to Jenny or Bill's mother. You should have taken the partner insurance like I told you to do.
I never thought we'd need it.
Oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can't sit here and think about all of our regrets. What's important is that we're here, we're alive, we're happy, we're getting married, and I feel blessed.
You're right. Look, you're right. This is Bill's day. I mean, I will deal with our problems, however minor, tomorrow.
Well, one of those problems you don't have to worry about. I found Lucy.
She's back?
No, I know where she is, though.
Then why are you here?
Because it can wait till tomorrow. Pay my respects. She's in Dominique's New York apartment. I got her right where I want her.
Jenny, I'm so sorry. If there's anything you need.
We appreciate that, Ned. I got it covered.
Jenny, dear. I was very fond of your brother. He was always such a gentleman to me.
Thank you, Lila.
We were stunned, Jennifer. It's a tragedy.
It was nice of you to come.
Nonsense. You're our family, which makes Bill our family. And we wanted to show our deep and abiding affection.
Oh, please. My brother was a thorn in your side, and the only affection that you have is for your bottom line.
We'll see you after the service.
Maybe this was a mistake. I didn't want to upset you.
I'm not upset. I'm just remembering Bill's philosophy of life. And this is the perfect time for a little truth-telling. In fact, I've got some for you too, Ned, if you can handle it.
Let's save it, shall we? If you really want to take care of her, I would recommend a good stiff drink when all this is over.
You all right?
I hate them, that's all.
She's high-strung.
Yes, indeed. So, Grandfather, exactly how much is at stake here?
Well, at current market value, if you figure Bill's 36% and base it on the second quarter earnings, then you would know that you wouldn't
Shame
have...
on both of you. Business meeting in the middle of a funeral. It's boring. Oh.
See you later. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Julia. I was fine until I saw Jenny. I really was.
Oh, you two are close friends.
Not as close as we used to be, thanks.
Is that why you're so upset?
Partly.
And the other part?
You don't want to know.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Julia, I know you and Bill used to date.
Date. This makes it sound so ordinary. And nothing about William was ordinary. He was complex and mysterious. And very special to me.
And you loved him. Then why did it end?
Because he was also impossible. William was a walking illustration of everything that's wrong with the men in my life.
All the men? Well, then it's probably for the best that it ended.
No. Because he's also everything that's right. There'll never be anybody else like him.
I didn't know your brother well, but I admired the way he always said what was on his mind. Seems like it runs in the family.
Excuse me?
I heard you with the Quartermains.
I really should watch myself.
Don't you dare.
Thank you for coming.
Well, you're looking especially lovely, Mrs. Quartermain.
Oh, thank you. I don't approve of discussing business at a time like this. In fact, I just had to reprimand my family for their insensitivity. But I did want to tell you how very impressed I was with your proposal for ELQ.
I appreciate that. I worked very hard on it.
I'd like to discuss it in detail with you. Why don't you join us tomorrow evening for dessert?
At your home. That would be lovely.
About 8 o'clock?
Perfect.
Good.
Now, we think Ray went out the fire escape window, but we didn't find any prints on it or the window sill.
Could he have wiped them off?
Maybe. What was he wearing that night?
I don't remember why.
Because along with traces of blood on the window sill, we also found some black wool fibers.
Black. Oh, I'm pretty sure it wasn't black.
What else did you find?
Oh, tire tracks from his truck in the alley. We figured he parked it there to avoid being seen going into the apartment, which shows premeditation on his part. But he went in there determined to commit violence. Now, as far as the truck itself is concerned, we found a palm print. That wasn't his.
Well, that doesn't mean much. Could have been anybody, a passerby, somebody who parked next to him.
You're right, Alan. We have no idea when that print was put there. What's really odd, though, is that we find no trace of Ray on any of the flights leaving the airport. And we tracked down most of the cash-paying customers, and so far they're legit.
So what do you make of all this?
I'm beginning to wonder if Ray ever left town.
I don't need to hear this.
Karen, I know he's doing his job, but I just can't deal with this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think everyone is here.
Okay. I'll speak first. Who's going to follow me? One of you has to back me up, please.
Jenny, I'm sorry. I wouldn't know what to say.
This is awful. It's going to look like he didn't have any friends.
I can say something. Yeah, good, Tonica. You speak second, okay? And then,
Let
we'll
the
see.
chips fall where they may.
Okay.
I would like to start by thanking you all for coming. I know that Bill would thank you, too. Actually, he would have hated it. All the fuss and the flowers. Bill never liked to do things the way the rest of us do. So we'd better accept the fact that we're not here today for him. We're here for us. So that we can grieve for what was and maybe come to terms with what might have been. My brother and I were profoundly different people. He didn't believe in having regrets. I, on the other hand, have many, most of which have to do with my relationship with him. I regret putting my own expectations on him in a way he neither wanted nor appreciated. I regret criticizing him and nagging him. And most of all, I regret expecting him to change, to fit into some arbitrary standard that I selected. I think the time and energy wasted on that particular battle might have been much better spent fighting less and trying to understand each other more. And again, Bill always loved a good fight, and I believe that he loved me for being a worthy opponent. I know that I loved him and that I miss him already. I would give anything to have one more knockdown, drag-out fight with my brother. And maybe this time I'd let him win.
Go on, say something nice.
You got any ideas?
You can think of something. You always think of nice things to say about everything.
You know, as a doctor, I've seen a lot of death. Too much death, really. And sometimes I worry that we've become inured to it, and then something like this happens. Sudden, violent, a death that shakes us to our very core. So the passing of Bill Eckert is a reminder to us of our vulnerabilities. It challenges our notion of life should be sweet and easy, because it certainly wasn't easy with Bill. But also, I think in our hearts, we all know that he was never afraid of life.
What do you want?
I missed you. A lot.
Cut it out, Sonny.
You asked. Although I hadn't planned on speaking to you on my lawyer's advice, but since you brought it up, I just...
Well,
I just
your
wanted...
lawyers are right. You shouldn't be here.
I had to. I heard about your mother, and I just wanted to make sure you were both all right.
Don't make me laugh. You weren't worried about my mother when you threatened to have me killed.
Now, you can't believe I would have gone through with that.
Why not?
Because it was business. I had to get rough with some people. It really had nothing to do with you.
It had everything to do with me.
You probably know the club was shut down. Of course you do. You, helped the police do it.
Sorry. Hey, it was just business.
I'm not convinced you, don't think about me. You don't miss me, even a little?
I think about you a lot, Sonny. I think about standing in front of a whole bunch of strangers taking my clothes off. And I think about telling you things that I never told anyone and then having you twist them around and manipulating me. I think about you a lot, yeah. And you know what? It makes me sick.
What the hell are you doing here?
I just heard about Mrs. Wexler, inquiring about her health.
She's fine. And since you're just leaving, I'll go with you.
See you later, Karen.
No, you won't.
Ray doesn't deserve to be on this earth.
Well, why don't you let the police handle Ray, and you just concentrate on getting better and spending some time with your daughter, okay?
I'm trying to. I want to. Would you mind terribly if we had a couple minutes alone, Alan?
Certainly. We'll see you again.
What did you want to say?
I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, come on. Let's not start handing out Nobel Prizes for medicine here. Although I cannot deny that you are very lucky to be alive. But you know, you helped. I mean, sometimes a doctor is only as good as her patient. If you hadn't wanted to live. But you did. You're a real fighter.
You think so? I know I used to be.
Without a doubt.
But it's you. Considering you had a whole lot of reasons not to like me, you were very noble about it.
Not being noble. It's doing my job. And I love that. I do. There are times where it's not easy to know that someone's life depends on you. It can be a blessing, a big responsibility. Something happened in that operating room that really changed my perspective of things.
But you actually held my heart in your hands. That's not a miracle. I don't know what is.
It makes you believe that any problem is solvable, don't you think?
When many of us remember Bill Eckert, I think we'll remember a man who thought he understood the value of the good things in life. For him, that was fine art, the best wine, a beautiful woman, and his desires to make those things his own. But somehow, when he attained them, he didn't feel fulfilled in his expectations. And I'm truly sorry that he never appreciated what he had. Because when I look around this room, I see that Bill had a lot more than he ever realized. You know something? So did we. For when Port Charles itself was in danger, some of you will remember a few years back from the cartel, it was through Bill's actions that many lives were saved. Some of those lives in this very room. So I think that we owe Bill a lot more than we all realize. Now, if anyone else wants to share, please.
Bill Eckert was my cousin, and unfortunately a virtual stranger. I only met him a few days ago. He made a hell of a first impression. He was a rude, egocentric, selfish, don't get involved kind of guy. He was a world-class jerk. Charmed me about as much as fingernails on a blackboard. And from the look on most of your faces, I take it he charmed you too. But however he lived, it was in the act of losing his life that he was ultimately defined. I have a strong feeling he'd hate to be called it, but Bill Eckert died a hero. I see it when I look in his son's eyes. Bill was Sly's hero. And I see it when I look
in the eyes of my own son, who wouldn't be alive today if it hadn't been for Bill's sacrifice. Because when it counted, he wasn't petty or mean-spirited. He stepped beyond his self-obsession, and he saved the lives of 2 children. He cared about as little for a bullet as he cared for everything else in his life. And he didn't hesitate. He stepped in front of a bullet. A bullet that was meant for my son. I don't know if there's a lesson in Bill's death. I don't even know if there are such things, but maybe it's that you'd never write anybody off. I see a lot of familiar faces here. A couple of you even might be happy to see me. But if you're thinking that we wouldn't be here at all today if it hadn't been for the fact that I came back to Port Charles, you'd be right. I came back because I had to. My problems followed me. Say that I'm sorry to Jenny and Sly. Well, that would never be enough. I know who did this. I know why they did it. And I promise you, Sly, and Jenny, and I promise Bill, I'll do what I can to even this score. We don't need any more heroes.
Oh, baby, do we dare, do we dare? Oh. It's risky, it's naughty, it's even a bit scandalous. I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh! Do come on in. That was fast.
Well, that's what they say. One bowl of pretzels, one large pitcher of island sunset. No rum. And now I see why.
Well, I have to look after our health.
Indeed, ma'am, and you are one healthy-looking mama.
Oh, you're not saying that I'm a wee bit fat, are you?
Oh, no, ma'am. Listen, down here on the islands, we like our women to look just like women. And you, ma'am, are all women.
Oh, thank you very much. Uh-oh. Aren't you forgetting something? No.
Yes. 1, 2 umbrellas.
Thank you so much. Oh, don't go. Wait 1 second. Let me see. Aha. Voila.
Oh, but ma'am, I don't have change for 20.
I don't need change for 20. See you at the beach.
Well, what can I do for you, Karen?
I need some information. if I wanted to get into therapy, about how much would it cost and how long would it take?
Well, that depends. Why don't we deal with your problem first and worry about the money later?
Because that doesn't seem very practical.
Well, let me put it this way. I do what I do to get people well, and whether or not you become my patient doesn't depend on your ability to pay. Look, as far as the time of treatment, well, it's not like a car, you know. You take to a mechanic and replace a part and then hope it keeps running. Our engines are a little more complicated.
So it could take a long time.
Possibly. Why don't you tell me why you think you need to see me?
Well, my mother's an alcoholic, and I'm dealing with a drug problem, and I've been stripping in a nightclub, and just recently I remembered being sexually abused by my mom's boyfriend when I was a child.
I'm glad you came to see me.
You're not shocked.
No. I'm very impressed by you.
Why?
Many people don't even recognize their problems until they've been in therapy for months. You're a step ahead of the game.
I guess you get a lot of stories in this office, huh?
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
So, how does it work, and what do you do?
Well, there's no magic pill, if that's what you mean. It takes time and honesty and a lot of courage.
You know, I know in my head that a lot of people come in here and they tell you their problems, and somehow, at some point, they all walk out of here feeling better.
Yes, well, that's the idea.
But in my heart, I don't see how I can sit here and tell you over and over again what happened to me and have it help me. It's just not possible. I don't see how it could possibly do any good.
What do you hope to achieve in therapy?
Just want to forget. I want to just put it all away and move on with my life.
Well, that would be pretending that it didn't happen, and that's impossible. It did happen. It exists. But believe it or not, one day you'll see it as an important part of your life. The part that makes you stronger.
How can I sit here day after day dredging it up when every time I think about it, it's like this big black hole that's sucking me in? And that's when I do all that crazy stuff, like the drugs and the stripping and all that, because I don't want to feel it.
I know, but what you'll find here is a safe place to allow yourself to feel that pain.
It hurts too much.
Of course it does. You were raped. I'm sorry. Look, I have to call it what it is so that you can overcome it. And feeling bad about it is a very normal, healthy reaction to a horrible trauma. If you didn't feel that way, then we'd have something to worry about.
I hate it.
You'll be surprised. You know, one day you'll realize that you haven't thought about it for hours, and then days, and then weeks, and pretty soon you'll just have left it somewhere in your past, and you'll only remember when you need to.
Can you help me do that?
Only if you help yourself. And if you trust me. That's the question, Karen. Can you trust me? Here.
So what was that all about?
What was what all about?
Rhonda, why did she want to see you alone?
I'm her surgeon. She doesn't need a reason.
What was so important that I had to leave the room?
Male ego is so predictable. Hard as this may be, Ellen, it wasn't about you.
Okay, then what was it about? I'm just curious.
It was confidential. Just woman to woman. Pretty frightening, huh?
Your brother's an interesting man.
Yes, he is.
I'd like you to set up a meeting with him to meet.
That's not possible right now.
Well, I can't wait.
Well, you heard what he said. He's in a great deal of danger, and he's in hiding. I'm not even sure I could find him.
Oh, sure you can. He's got problems, I've got solutions.
What solution?
Sorry, that's between Luke and me. Just tell him Damian Smith wants to see him about his future.